It's Chiyu from iHeartUmami.com. Welcome to our third round of October meal prep challenge. If this is the first time you're here, welcome. And this is the week 1 meal prep walkover. So this time I'm doing live, but I prepared the meals last night so I can focus on explaining to you the process, and I hope that'll be helpful. To most of you registered before Wednesday, this past Wednesday, I'm sure you probably already received this meal prep challenge order menus and shopping list. And if you registered after Wednesday, we will send out a second batch on Saturday morning. And since this time we have about 5,000 people joining, so thank you for your patience. If for some reason you still didn't receive it, send me an email at hello@iheartumami.com. I will do my best to get back to you by the end of the day. So reach out to me as early as you can. Okay? All right. So for those of you, if you're watching on YouTube and if you are not quite familiar with what we do, this is the meal prep challenge, and I'm from iHeartUmami.com. I'll put a link down below and you can check it out to see what's going on. All right, so before a few things I like to do before the meal prep that I personally found has helped me a lot is I definitely will I like to keep my space clean, as spacious as possible, and remove all the clutters that is just not going to be relevant or useful to me during meal prep, to just keep the space as clean as possible, because I like to feel like, I'm in control of my kitchen, not the other way around. So definitely a night before, I like to run my dishwasher and keep it clean, because after that, I like to, maybe you will need to use a dishwasher even more to run another round. So you want to start with a clean slate. And then what other else will be, you definitely will need to have some extra space in the fridge. I usually will try to make sure I have a freezer space, because we need to store meat, and definitely have extra fridge space that you will want to probably clean out, so it will just keep everything more tidy as well. And so all these little tiny things that I do just helps me feel less stressful, and then when I walk into the kitchen, I actually can enjoy the process. And very often when I prep meal at home, and I will just probably listen to my favorite podcast or my favorite music, just keep the entire experience just, it's a more enjoyable, more relaxed as much as possible. And during the meal prep, this time I try to put the information together in one page, so hopefully it's easier for you to reference. You will see on the sheet that all the reference information, they are in a different color, in a brown color. So these are the ingredients that you can use. And in the back, there's an entire full list of recipe. I know some of you, sometimes you don't really have time to do a full entire meal prep, but I certainly hope you do, because this time the menus, I have to simplify them to make them as efficient as possible. And when I was prepping them yesterday, believe it, without the sweet potato that section, I actually get everything done in about an hour and 15 minutes. So it depends on how comfortable you are in the kitchen. You definitely should feel free to break it up if you don't have that much time in one setting. I would say if you are familiar with my recipe, and then if you have regularly done meal prep for yourself and your family, this shouldn't be a very time-consuming process, but try to set aside 2 hours if you can. Another way to do it is at the end of the section 3, you will see that I will prepare the sweet potato mash. In my experience, that section actually took the longest time for me. So if you have a big kitchen and a lot of counter space, I suggest, and you feel comfortable doing a little bit multitasking, I suggest you can move that section to the beginning, become your the first thing that you prepare, because it takes time, whether it's for the oven to bake a sweet potato or maybe for Instant Pot, although it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to prepare them, but it takes time for the sweet potato to cool down. So you can peel them and then you can blend them and make it into a puree or mash. Okay, but if you don't have a lot of space, or you just, like me, I like to do things one thing at a time, where I can clean up things a little bit, you can maybe separate the sweet potato batch to a complete separate day, a separate morning or afternoon. And it's good to make a big batch, because if you're joining us for the second week, which I hope you will, having a few extra left will definitely help you next week to shorten the meal prep time. All right, so let's quickly walk over the first thing, and let's see. Okay, so the first thing is we are going to make our homemade Malaysian-inspired chicken curry. And so this time I show you how to make your own homemade curry paste and also chili sambal. Chili sambal is a Malaysian-style inspired chili sauce. If you don't like spicy food, you can completely skip it, and then I put down a very detailed instruction in terms of how you can change your seasoning during serving day, because chili sambal has stronger flavor to add to your curry pot. All right, so what I have here, let me grab them, is the homemade chili paste. So these look like a lot, right? So these are good for, in my experiment, they're good for up to actually 5 to 6 pounds of chicken. So in the shopping list, we put for 4 pounds, because I would rather have extra than not enough. So so if you're preparing for 4 pounds chicken, or maybe 4.5 pounds, not exactly quite that super exact, you should definitely have enough. And they are great. Just, you can store them in the fridge. Maybe throughout the week, because we blend parsley or cilantro inside, so you can see some kind of lovely green colored speckles. So maybe throughout the week, the green color will kind of just fade off a little bit, but the whole thing should stay very fresh. Just make sure whenever you scoop them, you use a clean spoon so they are not contaminated. And if you happen to have really a lot left, and maybe you are single, you can absolutely store them in the freezer. Just store them in ice cube trays so they become the tiny cubes that you can use in the future. All right, and for the chili sambal, I use red Fresno chili. You can definitely use serrano or any other type of red chili peppers, and just blend them. They smell really, really good. You can use them not only for the curry pot, but for many, many other things, even for stir-fry dishes if you love a little bit spicy food. And then, great, you can also store it in the fridge. They are good for a long time, definitely more than a week or two, no problem. Just make sure you use a clean spoon when you scoop them out. So that's pretty much about the curry and also the chili sambal. And for the chicken, I prepare this here. This is about 2 pounds, a little more than 2 pounds of chicken. I personally love chicken thigh a lot because it gives a lot of flavor and it's more has more moisture as well. But sometimes it's good to have a different texture variety. So I did about 1 pound of chicken breast and also 1 pound of chicken thigh. You should feel free to mix and match. Use all breasts or use all thigh. So see, I packed them here. Let me see how this is better. In a flat, large Ziploc bag and squeeze out the air, and then I just store it in the fridge. So if you will serve this dish the same day or next day, I will store them in the fridge. Otherwise, I recommend unless you finish, if you are not finishing the next day, I recommend you store them in the freezer. It's just for food safety. And if it's the same day, I would recommend you marinate them maybe for a 15 to 20 minutes while you're preparing everything else. So that should do it. All right. So easy peasy. And so your meal one will be ready, and then you should have enough quantity that will serve you for maybe definitely more than 2 times per week. And the second meal we will prepare is the Filipino inspired skirt steak, and I'm gonna pair that with a very simple garlicky flavor of curly kale satay. I think this combo will be just very practical for everyday, day-to-day use. So for the skirt steak, you can use a skirt steak, but sometimes if you can't find it, there's another type of meat I personally really love. Is the what's that called? It's called sirloin tip. If you can find the butcher that actually sliced to like larger piece chunks of sirloin tip, it's slightly leaner, and that's great. One thing about the meat is that, of course, it's good. It's better to find the organic and then also grass-fed one. But if you can, sometimes the grocery store is just not available. I would recommend you probably trim the fat a little bit, just because the animal fat from a non-grass-fed or organic produce, the fat content is not as high quality, as good as the grass-finished, grass-fed and organic meat. So I wouldn't go too worried about it. What I usually do is I would just trim off the fat if it's not organic or certified organic or grass-fed, grass-finished meat. And then same thing, adding the marinade, and then I think I put it here for 4 pounds of skirt steak, so you want to separate them to 2 large Ziploc bags, so 1 bag for 1 serving, and you can see it's actually quite a lot. So you definitely should have some left over for next day's lunch. So same thing, store them flat, put in the freezer, because when you defrost them, if they are about equal thickness, it will defrost quicker and more even. All right, and then for the kale, I love curly kale. So this is just, I haven't washed them because if you feel like you want to wash them in advance, just please pat them dry before you store them. But in my experience and also my conversation with people in the farmer's market, it's best to wash them when you are ready to use them. So I just torn them, I pat them dry a little bit, and then I torn them and then squeeze out the air and put it in the large Ziploc bag and store in the fridge. For vegetables, you want to keep them fresh, so try to finish them within 3 or 4 days for the best freshness. And if you happen to add broccoli that is not on this week's list, then broccoli requires a little more space to breathe, so it's completely sealed and won't work that well with broccoli florets. So you might want to find a container that's, allow air can circulate through a bit more. All right, so that's pretty much that. And there's an avocado salad dressing, and that's great. You can use that for dipping sauce. You can use that to add for maybe your fried eggs in the morning to add some good fat, and it's absolutely delicious. And you can use that to mix in with leafy greens. I try to incorporate a lot more veggies in our meal prep this week because it's just good for you, and everyone should eat more veggies. All right, so see, it's easy peasy, very, very quick. So the last thing I will do is the sweet potato and yam mash. So this is the muffin tin that I use. It's a silicone, pliable one. So the reason I picked that is because, so you can, once the muffin, the sweet potato mash, you add in there, store them flat in the freezer overnight. Once they're out, they become solid. It's very easy for you to push them out, right? So they will become like this. Let me show you. Ta-da! So I have the purple one here, and I also have the green color one. So this green color I blended with baby spinach, and believe me, you won't taste the spinach taste at all. It's completely naturally green, and they stay green. I think it's probably because they stay in the freezer. I'm not quite sure why, but it's awesome. They just stay true to the color, and you can just, this is one of them. It's about, depends on how much you want to stuff. It's about, I don't know, for me and my husband, we each have one, and that's plenty. So you can defrost them overnight in the fridge. So when you're back from work, they are ready. They taste lovely. They taste creamy. They taste fresh. And if you enjoy them in a slightly chilled manner, they almost like melted, nice, healthy, sweet potato ice cream to me. And then, or if you're not opposed to using microwave, you can also just straight from the freezer to the microwave for a few seconds, give a little stir, and another few 30 seconds, and they are ready. So this is absolutely crucial for my household, and I think I'm going to add this to my Thanksgiving side dish as well. And please be sure to store them in the freezer because they melt quite quickly. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this week's workover. There's a third meal for the no prep meal, and if this is not the first time you've joined this challenge with us, you will notice that usually no prep meal, I like to incorporate a seafood dish because fish, salmon, they are not only great for you and also just very quick to put together. So to also provide variety, it's better to have a wide range, more diverse protein for you to have throughout the week, and it's just more balanced in this way. So there is a third dish available for no prep meal and also for seafood lovers. So a few other things, during meal prep, a few things if you find it helpful is that I like to keep the things that pertain to this meal prep nearby me. So for example, it could be a measurement cup, it could be the spoons, or even, if you have a garbage bowl. Remember like Rachel Ray used a garbage bowl, and I have my little own, so I use that to, put a little garbage bowl right here. So instead of having to walk back and forth to the garbage can here and there, I just have a little garbage bowl right in front of me. So that helped me, save some time, keep me feel like, I'm very comfortable in my work zone. And don't worry, don't feel like, you have to just do one thing from head to toe, lock yourself in the kitchen for hours. Feel free to take a mini break, and then maybe, using a mini break time to tidy up the kitchen a little bit. Because a lot of time I like to start from a clean slate, and maybe it gets messy after I prepare one meal, and then I will rinse a few things and put them in a dishwasher, or maybe clean up my sink a little bit. So I feel like, not after the entire meal prep, 2 hours later, everything is a mess. So it kind of just helped me reduce my stress, just make the whole process a little bit more enjoyable. And then finally, the third thing actually I want to share with you is about enjoying your meal. A lot of the time we just don't have time to sit down for a proper meal, and especially if you work in the office, you probably only have, if you have like a 15-20 minutes break and to grab lunch. So it's very important that try to at least give yourself 15 to 20 minutes, if during lunchtime, and hopefully dinner time is definitely longer that you can sit down with your family, or if you're single, just sit down and have quiet and enjoy the moment to enjoy the lovely creation and delicious food you created. And as a general rule of thumb, that this is one thing I'm trying to practice as well, is that try to slow down your meal time. Give your brain your body at least 10 minutes to process the food that you enjoy and put the nutrition into your body. Because it takes about at least 10 minutes for your body hormone and then your brain to process that, Chiyu is putting nutritious food into the body to send a signal to tell your brain that, you are enjoying nutritious food, and then you feel full and satisfied after you're eating. So what happens is if you eat too fast, a lot of time it could end up because your body and hormone, which takes time to process the information, so it might end up overeating. So that's what happened to me a lot as well. So I'm trying to eat slowly, slower, and also try to chew my food more thoroughly before I swallow it down. Otherwise, I tend to overeat, eat too quickly because the food is so delicious. So this is one thing that I would like to share with you guys. And some people sometimes ask me, in terms of the serving portion. In my recipe, I try to give as general as possible. I calculated for half pounds of protein per adult per person. This is very generous. To a lot of other meal prep templates, they calculate about 4 to 6 ounces per adult per meal. So it's just much actually less. So the reason I calculate for half pounds is because I want you to have extra left for next day as well, or in case if you work out a lot, you have a big appetite, like my husband, half pound of protein is perfect for him per meal. And but in general, a rule of thumb, if you're kind of petite like me, and then I do go to work out regularly, but now doing very, very intense work outdoor every single day. It's generally about the size of your pound size. It could have a smaller pound, or my husband will have a larger pound size for the protein amount serving. This is also information listed on the Whole 30s program. So you can have up to 1 or 2 of your pound size serving per meal for your protein. That should be a lot. And fill the rest of your plate with vegetables, with leafy greens. And also good fats, like I always like to add olives, or maybe half to 1 avocado, and some good fats like we already use in the cooking, like coconut oils or ghee, clarified butter. So that's in general a quick walk over for the meal prep this time, and I'm using a new camera, and I hope it's working this time. And if it's not anything missing, and I will fill in the blank underneath. Okay, if you guys have any questions, just type it in, and then I will answer it. All right, see you very soon, and I will chat with you later. Bye.